Hey Nick, it's Valentine's Day. Speaking of love, I loved your video the other day. Thanks for the reminder. I I sometimes forget that I get to do cool stuff. I mean, I guess it's the effect of sort of shifting expectations. Like, the stuff gets cooler and cooler, but the day in, day out, like, oh, I've got an assignment due this week, or, I've got this code I have to get to my boss by the end of the day. It kind of stays the same. So it's sometimes easy to forget that I'm gonna be building satellites for a job one day and how insanely cool that is. And I am privileged enough to get to do that, let alone to be in graduate school. So thanks for the reminder on that. Sometimes it's good to take a look back and think about those things. I also think this is an interesting juxtaposition of our two industries. In opera, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like a lot of the time there is an affirmation at the end of the day. Like, you get your applause. And I don't mean to demean opera in any way like that. More so just explicate that is the end product of an opera. You do something, bring it to maturity, perform it, get your applause, the cycle is complete. Whereas in engineering, it's a little harder to do that because we do have episodic stuff. We have reviews on spacecraft design. But in a lot of cases, if it's done right, engineering in my industry is pretty cold and emotionless. And the best phrase you can hear is, you met the minimum requirements. Because that means you're doing something right. Space engineering is also a little bit more distributed. Like, there are very few people that understand the full complexity of a system. That's why there's a lot of error wrangling that happens in space. Like, you have people who go through and look over documents, hundreds of times just to make sure that these different groups who couldn't possibly know everything that the other groups are doing did everything right and within requirements, stuff like that. It can be difficult to get a full picture. Like, I have not yet experienced this, but my assumption is that this is what the equivalent of a performance would be like, is seeing something on a launch pad. Because I mean, at that point, it's a controlled explosion with years of your work on top of it, and you just see that thing sail towards the sky. That's got to be the coolest thing ever. I look forward to the first day that happens. I haven't had that yet, so I guess it's difficult to remember the big picture, especially getting lost in the minutia of the complexity of the stuff that I kind of do. Also, a lot of my daily ins and outs are spreadsheets, so those are obviously the most exciting thing on this planet. The data within them is actually pretty cool, but I like spreadsheets a lot. Spreadsheets are good. I could write a love letter to spreadsheets. But fangirling over spreadsheets aside, glad you had the performance. It's really cool. I liked hearing about that. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.